You're listening to DraftKings Network.
All right, everybody, Mother's Day is officially around the corner. If mom's gift isn't already on the way, you've got hours, maybe even minutes to get it together. So head over to 1-800-Flowers.com right this second. 1-800-Flowers still has great last-minute deals on handmade bouquets, sweet treats, gourmet food, and one-of-a-kind gifts ordered easily and delivered fresh. You want to get mom something that shows your appreciation for all that she's done? We know you've been a knucklehead. She knows you've been a knucklehead. Please do better. Help your mom feel appreciated this Mother's Day. This is your last chance to lock in these Mother's Day deals. Only good while supplies last. Order today at 1-800-Flowers.com/Dan, D-A-N. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/Dan.
Pulling up to Mickey D's just for drinks? Oh yeah, that's me. Nothing extra, just perfection and a straw. Coming in hot for the coldest cups on the block. Because there are drinks. Then there are drinks from McDonald's.
Ever combine an ice-cold frozen Coke with piping hot fries? Try frozen drinks any size for $1.49. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
Charlotte, they announced the MVP winner. It was, no surprise, Nikola Jokic. Got 79 first-place votes. Coming in second was Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with 15, and 40 second-place votes after that. In the end, it really wasn't close at all. As you see the voting breakdown there, Luka got 4 first-place votes. Giannis got 1 first-place vote, which...
That's...
Come on, guys.
Okay.
And then Jalen Brunson and Jason Tatum. What votes surprised you the most?
I think it's more, what didn't surprise me. I feel like this was always going to be Jokic's to take. I think because of what he did in the finals last year and how everyone who had been a naysayer during the regular season sort of had to be like, oh, sorry, we were wrong. I think, Shaq, when they announced it on Inside the NBA, was like, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I thought he should have gotten it. And I can't help but kind of agree with him in terms of what OKC did this year and how that does not happen without Shai. Obviously, what the Nuggets did this year doesn't happen without Jokic, but OKC is the number 1 seed. I don't know. I feel like the MVP becomes a little revisionist each year. It's like, what didn't we do last year? What do we have to get right now? And then how can we correct our mistakes? What surprised you, like in the voting, to throw your question back at you?
No, look, this is where my good friend Rachel Nichols beats this drum called, we need 2 awards, the MVP of the year and the best player in the league. And I'm just like, Rachel, it's ridiculous. Just pick one. Just pick one. Trust me.
I get it, though. I get what she's saying.
And there's an element of a delay there. It's like they're reacting to last year's playoff run. They're not really reacting to what happened this year. Having said that, if you took the on-off, the raw plus-minus, points scored when he was on the floor, points they were outscored by when he was off the floor, number 1 in the league by far was Nikola Jokic. So I don't know of any other greater indicator of that's the most valuable player.
He also had the most Jokic reaction ever, where he was just like, when they announced it, he was like, okay, yay. And I appreciate this man's consistency. All right, we are back with a few more odds and ends here on our end. What do we have going on? What?
How was that sound?
Hello again, Charlotte. Nice to meet you, Amin.
Oh, no. Oh, boy. This is Al. He co-hosted with me a few days ago when you were out. Al, what are you doing here? We don't need you.
Since this segment of Oddball is also airing on the Dan Le Batard Show, Meadowlark Media wanted to ensure this segment is efficiently search engine optimized to contain a minimum of 3,000 trending metadata tags.
It seems really unnecessary. Also, isn't Algae Rhythm the bad guy from Space Jam 2?
One moment, please. According to all available data, no one gave a about Space Jam 2.
Wow.
Al swears so much. Oh my God, this is going to be wild. Okay, Al, what's the first topic?
The USA Olympic basketball team is currently trending. LeBron James, Steph Curry, Anthony Edwards, Kevin Durant, ant. Sorry, my head exploded. USA must replace Kawhi Leonard. Even as a robot, I find Kawhi to be too robotic. Can we replace him and some other old f***s with Jalen Brunson?
Ow. You're not supposed to have opinions. First of all. What? Okay. I mean, I guess we have to talk about this because Al says it's good for social. It's funny to me, I mean, that a lot of these guys that Al mentioned are just not in the playoffs at all at this point. They're the old dudes right now.
You can throw Tyrese Halliburton on the list of dudes that's about to be out these playoffs too. Unless they can contest a couple more calls.
Right. Build the whole plane out of Jalen Brunson.
I was surprised Jalen Brunson. I was surprised Jalen Brunson wasn't on this to begin with. You know who else should be on Team USA that isn't on that list right there, Charlotte? Derek White. Like, hey man, this dude clearly is the best player in the league. What are we doing, keeping him off?
Yeah. What are we doing? Oh man. All right, Al. What do you got for us?
Pat Riley said Jimmy Butler should keep his mouth shut unless he's on the court. Then Riley said he was hesitant to re-sign the frequently injured Butler. Alternate search term, Himmy Buckets. I detect passive-aggressive behavior. How would you react if you were Jimmy Butler? Alternate search term, Timothy Chalamet.
Oh, God. Okay.
There's nobody who calls him Timothy Chalamet.
Well, Al does.
Let's start there.
Al does.
No, he's saying his search results. Where is he searching?
I don't believe it for a second. Here's what Pat Riley said. He said, if you're not on the court playing against Boston or on the court playing against the New York Knicks, you should keep your mouth shut on the criticism of those teams. Because Jimmy said that he would have kicked their asses. And
yes, Jimmy also said,
yeah, Jimmy was also having some fun in Miami. Pat Riley also said it's a big decision on our part to commit those kinds of resources unless you have somebody who's going to be there and available every single night. About Jimmy Butler, he also said something else. I mean, didn't he say, like, we're not trading him, though?
Yeah, like he made it clear that this does not make him available. Just there, because Jimmy's looking for an extension. He's looking to add 2 more years onto his deal at the highest maximum dollar value. And, Pat Riley's making it know, like, yo, hold on now. I'm not going to commit to this if you're, like, not available, which, I mean, to be frank, that happened for a lot of the season and happened for the entire of the playoffs. I'm not saying that Jimmy sat, like, he was hurt, but, I think part of this is Pat making, like, saber rattling, and part of it, why would we commit to someone who is getting to that stage of his career where availability is a question? Oddly enough, Charlotte, this press conference reminded me of the press conference Pat had 10 years ago when LeBron James was a free agent, and he said, what was the thing that Pat said? He said, you want to get trending? Let's get trending. And I think, like, he just learned the word trending that day. And so he tried to incorporate it into the speech. And then in this speech about Jimmy Butler, he said maybe Jimmy was trolling. He pronounced trolling in a very weird way that led me to believe he just learned that word on that day.
I mean, Pat Riley is current. Like, look at us here, trending with algorithm. Trolling. Do you think this is anything that's been going on? Well, is Al back? He just pops up. Al, why do you look so weird? Why do you look like a camera lens with a basketball in it? I was able to upgrade your voice last time. Can we upgrade what you look like?
There is a visual upgrade available for a nominal fee. Would you like to accept this charge?
This seems like a loaded question, but sure, why not?
Wonderful. $857,000 has been charged to the card on file labeled Amin's Amex.
Oh, it's your personal this time. What?
Yeah, totally worth it.
Okay, so if you're not watching this, you should be, because algorithm just put a bunch of eyes. Yeah, he put googly eyes on himself.
For $800,000. Luckily, I do have the black card, so I'm worth it.
No,
all right, what's the next story?
True crime shows are incredibly popular. Domantas Sabonis is definitively not. Thusly, I have scraped open source records and determined with 97.5% confidence who made the irrational choice and voted for him for MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. How should I respond?
Charge. You know how you should respond? You should take the charges off my card and put it on that person's card. That's what you should do.
Yeah. Who did that, Amin?
Scomp Lincoln. I don't know, but we'll find out. That's the beauty of NBA award voting. There is no anonymity. At the end of all of this, they're going to release the 100 voters and what they voted for on every single thing. You're going to be able to find who got votes for what, at what place, for what award, and what all league team. Don't worry. We'll find this individual and we will smoke them out.
Here's the thing, though. I sort of really respect this because if you are the person, listen, if you're the person who voted for Domantas Sabonis and you're like a Portland Trailblazer, Portland, and you're a Kings homer and you're like, yes, I'm willing to put my name on this. Like, that takes a little bit of chutzpah, I mean.
No.
Okay.
No, it doesn't.
All right. Al, what else do you have for us?
Television schedules indicate there are 2 NBA basketball games tonight. The Minnesota Timberwolves will face the Denver Nuggets, and Indiana Pacers will face the New York Knickerbockers. Present a viral take about either game that is 60 seconds or less for Oddball social media channels.
This is the upgraded voice, you tell me.
Yeah, before it was like, I am a robot, and then he was like, I'm going to be sexy. And I was like, Al, we don't need you to be sexy. This is a basketball show. You want a viral take? Here's a viral take. Jalen Brunson will play all but 3 minutes. Anunoby will be back for a quarter, and the Knicks will beat the Pacers at home again. I mean, at home for the first time, but they'll beat them again.
All right. We kind of did this in another segment on another episode, but Denver bounces back, storms back in game 3, wins resoundingly, and then game 4 on Sunday, I'm giving you a little extra too. On Sunday, they're going to tie this series up. It'll be tied 2-2 going back to Denver, and everyone will say what a wonderful series that was.
Wow. What do you think about my take?
I didn't even hear your take. I was thinking of mine the whole time. I just know you talked about the Knicks and Pacers. What was your take?
Yeah, same. I don't remember what you said, so I asked you about mine. I said that the Knicks are going to win. This is how the sausage gets made, folks.
Hey,
you think algorithm is something. We've got weird algorithms in our brains over here trying to figure out how to talk to each other while thinking about the next thing we're going to say.
Pre-programmed, ladies and gentlemen, this is television at its finest, where people are just waiting to talk.
Sorry,
that's
you
all
both
we're
went on
doing.
too long. The viewer is now watching this video.
Oh my God, is that just a cat playing basketball?
That's not a cat playing basketball.
Oh,
no,
it is.
That's physically not possible. The cat picked up the ball and then shot it upward. Run that back, algorithm. Like there's, look at this. The cat cannot dribble a basketball.
Yeah, but you know what's really popular on the internet is cats, so I sort of see where he's coming from. You know what, Al? Thank you for coming back. I still don't know why your upgrade costs so much, though.
Because according to your Instagram engagement, I am now your type.
What
does that mean?
That's the creepiest thing. Someone on our production team had to write that. I just want.
I did it.
Not to peel back the curtain too much.
What are you talking about? No, this is.
What are you guys talking about? That's my type. Googly eyes.
Why did I get charged? Hold on. If it's her type, why did she get charged?
This is a mess. Thanks, Al. See you never.
All right, everybody, Mother's Day is officially around the corner. If mom's gift isn't already on the way, you've got hours, maybe even minutes to get it together. So head over to 1-800-Flowers.com right this second. 1-800-Flowers still has great last-minute deals on handmade bouquets, sweet treats, gourmet food, and one-of-a-kind gifts ordered easily and delivered fresh. You want to get mom something that shows your appreciation for all that she's done? We know you've been a knucklehead. She knows you've been a knucklehead. Please do better. Help your mom feel appreciated this Mother's Day. This is your last chance to lock in these Mother's Day deals. Only good while supplies last. Order today at 1-800-Flowers.com/Dan, D-A-N. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/Dan.
Dan Le Batard.
You getting started on the breakfast flan?
Oh, man, I've been singing a song to myself all morning long. Breakfast flan.
Stugotz.
Have you never heard the breakfast flan song?
No, hit me with it.
Okay. I wish I had some breakfast flan. Breakfast flan. Where can I find a breakfast like that?
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
I was thinking about fish sticks the other day. What happened to them?
No longer?
Is it a thing kids eat? Pablo?
I haven't. So,
ooh, good transition to children. Nailed it.
This is a touchy topic.
Violet doesn't eat fish sticks?
Violet just got her first pet.
Oh, and it's a fish.
It's a fish.
And it's a fish.
Okay,
so Violet,
so many
we're not
questions.
feeding her fish sticks.
Does she eat fish?
Yeah, but the fish sticks... Okay, so on the subject of fish sticks, my frustration is that they're not really sticks anymore. They're just like nugs. That's what I'm sort of seeing.
Yeah. How have I never even thought before about kids having a pet fish and eating fish?
Yeah, that was the first time I ever
goldfish
thought of it.
Seem like a different species. Like if we would be very aware of like if you had a pet dog and then you tried to feed your kid's dog, that they would be like, wait a minute, isn't this, Ruffy, which was the first name of my dog that I named myself.
So truly what I wanted to get to here in my topic is our first pets and whether I'm doing it right.
Okay.
Getting Violet a fish. This is her pet fish.
Oh,
so we got a tank.
Pineapple.
We got a SpongeBob pineapple.
Like an angelfish thing?
This is it's pronounced apparently beta, B-E-T-T-A,
Beta.
but beta.
Beta.
But their YouTube
Kinda
videos
like
they call
you,
it
Pablo.
beta.
Just
It's a beautiful fish, Pablo.
I don't know how to pronounce it. It is a beautiful fish. I got real live aquatic plants. Those are real plants except for the SpongeBob pineapple. Everything else there is real.
It's beautiful.
Hate fake plants. And this is the fish that Violet picked out. The fish's name is Coop.
Like cooped up?
Coop. Like hanging with Mr. Cooper?
Coop as in she wanted to name it Poop.
Oh.
And we were like, let's negotiate. And we settled on Coop. So that's Violet and that's Coop. That's the story of
Coop's
my life
beautiful.
these days. That was my weekend. And it's a big step. A first pet, I didn't realize how big of a step it was until I was at Petco holding like total cliche, all of the things you need to get a fish tank.
Okay.
Cleaner, gravel, substrate, real plants that are not fake, the fish itself, the
Wait,
air
but are the
pump
plants real?
cleaning thing. Fake plants are actually my least favorite thing.
Fake plants are
you're
ass.
very proud of your plants. So
And also just like fake plants don't do anything.
right.
They are a depressing simulation of something that gives you none of the benefits.
Yeah, agreed.
Do you like
of
the
the
fact
real
that the real plants like give nutrients to the water and
Absolutely.
stuff? Yeah.
You can watch them grow
Coop deserves
and
that.
oxygenate
Yeah.
and feed Coop. If nothing else, the goodwill of the planet that we have destroyed and taken him from, or her. I don't know if Coop is...
No way of
Okay,
knowing, maybe.
so what are you worried about in terms of whether you're doing this right?
So we start with the fish, and I just wonder, I've been warned that this is just one step,
The gateway fish?
drug,
a gateway pet towards what I am not ready for, which is ultimately a dog,
Right.
As an apartment dweller in Manhattan. But I was curious what your gateway pets were and how you felt about them in retrospect.
Oh, man. Well, my mom has always loved animals and had dogs and cats. I think when my parents met, my dad was not a huge dog person and my mom had 2 huge dogs. And then he quickly became a dog person.
Okay.
And so I've just grown up. We always had a dog and we always had a cat. And it was sort of more of a given for me than like a please can I have a pet. And now looking back, I'm like, wow, my parents really like they were ready to take care of stuff if they had, because it's not a small thing to have a life and pets. And Sarah, you have dogs.
Yeah.
You have to,
Yeah.
they require a lot.
They require a lot. Yeah, I have 3. One of them is a 57-pound, 10-month-old puppy right now that we just acquired. So that one's adding a lot of work, and he's the best.
His name?
His name's Indy because we rescued him the day we left for Indonesia, which is a great plan, is to rescue a dog and then immediately have to find somebody to watch him for 12
Immediately
days.
abandon.
Well, he was in the shelter his name was Spain in the shelter. They named him Spain.
That's,
I saw a photo.
You could have kept it.
I know. I saw a photo. Well, when we call my own name, like running around Spain, it's too much, even for me.
Leo.
But see, yeah, exactly. So his name was Spain. So I spotted him in January. I'm like, oh my God, his name's Spain. And he's so cute because I follow all the rescue things in Chicago. I try to post the dogs for other people to see. And then February, I'm like, Spain's still there. That's wild. Like, what a cute dog. And then March, and I'm like, man, this dog might not make it because he's at the pound in Chicago. It's completely overflowing and there's no warning on which dogs get put down every day. Even the volunteers don't get told. So like at any moment, he could just be like, well, okay, you've been here 3 months. No one took you, so you're dead. It's awful. And most people don't realize how many dogs get killed every day. And then they go buy a fancy puppy instead of rescuing. And then I want to sit them down for a nice long talk. But the point is, we had a dog when I was first growing up that passed away when I was pretty young. So we got Ruffy, who my sister and I got to name Ruffy. And then we had Toby. So we always had dogs, just one dog growing up. I think they're really important for kids so that they're not afraid of dogs. I think it's hard to raise kids. They don't have to have one, but they should be around them so they get comfortable with them. I also think best case scenario, they learn a little responsibility, although that's a lot to ask. Usually the parents end up doing everything.
Yeah.
Right.
But, and then I had a fish that was so fat and lazy that it floated upside down instead of having to like use its fins to keep moving. So we always thought it was dead over and over and over. And then you'd hit the thing and it would flip back over and be like, I'm alive.
That's me trying to wake up every morning.
Noticing a real bias in how Sarah views and empathizes with different species of animal.
Yeah. No, the fish was great. It was just hilarious.
Dogs
that we kept
get
thinking,
cute names ending in Y. Fish.
Ruffy, Toby, Indy. Good call. I have 2 other dogs,
name?
Fletch and Banks. They don't have Ys, but I actually forget the fish name right now, which is sad. My dad watched him when we went to camp one summer, and he didn't make it. And I'm like, either he forgot to feed him, or he was not dead. And my dad was like, "Oh, looks dead down the toilet." I was like, I'm not dead yet. I'm getting better.
Can I tell you guys the name of the cat that I was brought home to?
What do you mean brought home to?
Like when I was
She was born, the cat existed already.
We had a dog
home.
named Bear.
Love it.
And a cat named Aaron Purr.
This is explaining
If anyone
a lot.
wants
You were
to
ahead
know,
of the game on Hamilton.
If anyone wants to know why I am the way I am, it's because I have parents who named a cat Aaron Purr.
Okay, well, I have a neighbor who has chickens, and they're named Gloria Steinhen and Ruth Bader Hensberg. So those kids are also growing up in a very
also going to
specific
become
home.
podcasters.
I want to roast all of you.
Wait, so Pablo, I like the fish. My gentle suggestion, if you can get another fish of the same type, it's going to loosen or lessen the blow when the fish inevitably dies. They just don't live very long usually.
I feel like the beta fish is they're 2 T's. It's confusing to me.
I've always heard beta fish.
Me too.
Okay.
Until I got into beta fish YouTube, and
boy.
all these people are
So
like,
I've been wrong the whole time.
It feels like the conversation we had about pickup artists. Alpha fish, beta fish.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm trying to avoid these fish truly, I would say, kino-escalating on each other, which is to say ramming their bodies into the other,
right?
Because that's a thing that these fish
Is there
do.
another kind of fish that gets along with a betta that won't ram or eat each other?
I think it's sort of like I think it's like this fish is a real gunslinger.
Okay. Lone Ranger?
Code. Yes, solo will occasionally ram its own reflection in that reflective, beautifully clean glass.
I actually have a different take, Sarah. I think that part of having a pet, which is good for kids, is understanding that death happens.
Okay.
Like when our dogs died, it was absolutely devastating, but it was also like, hey, this is a thing that happens. I do think that there was something that felt almost spiritual about it, because it was like, oh, wow, okay, this isn't, it gave context to life ends. Yes. And that, which is a horrifying thing as a kid, but is also like, instead of growing up sanitized from it or being like, this doesn't happen, it happens.
Yeah. Memento mori, remember we all die, which is the whole value of life. Life would mean nothing if we didn't alternately have death.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I'm just trying to save Pablo what could be.
I mean, look, people who've heard me talk on various platforms know that my pet experience involved hamsters.
Right.
I had hamsters, and I feel like I need to ritually remind America of this fact. The hamsters I had were not just drug addicts, they were cannibals and murderers because I had hamsters too.
This story is horrifying.
I go buy hamsters. I get a wire cage. I get a plastic spinning wheel, like an exercise wheel, not unlike the one we saw in that video, except vertical. Attaches to the wired cage. So hamsters, what do? They procreate a lot. All of these hamsters are born in the circle spinning wheel, right? That's cool, a little nest. But you know what else hamsters do, Katie Nolan? Hamsters eat their young. So what happens? Well, the hamsters begin to eat their babies inside of the plastic translucent Patrick Bateman Ferris wheel of death. And what else happens? The hamsters decapitate their babies. And so you have a spinning wheel that they're still exercising on.
Yes.
So the wheel is still spinning, forming a literal death rattle of hamster baby heads that I watch every day when I wake up and see, how are my pets doing? The answer, very badly. They're doing very badly.
This is why you are the way you are.
It explains so much.
It explains so much.
I can never trust or love again.
Did they eat their own babies?
That's what happened.
I once witnessed that. Never came back
just
from it.
decapitated their own young and ran around in a wheel full of baby heads.
Worried about dogs in a New York apartment and the work. And I certainly don't want people to get dogs who don't have, the ability to give them love and time. But also, I feel like I'm like for dogs, what people are with babies, where they're like trying to convince me to have kids and like, you'll just never understand love until you have your own. And I'm like, I'm good. But dogs, I'm like, I don't know how people literally live without coming home to this thing that's like so happy to see you, wants to spend every second with you, gives you emotional love and security and snuggles and like,
the snuggles are so good.
Yeah. When we come home from vacation and our dogs are like staying with someone else and it's late.
My dog voice.
Just opening the door to nothing is so sad. How do you do that?
Yeah,
I can do more of it if you want. Just let me know.
What, the doggy voice?
Oh, she's a really good girl. Oh my goodness.
Some snuggles. I once accidentally hit my phone recording and recorded myself. I love you. You're the best thing that's ever. I love you so much. Did you know that and it's just like on, and I read it and I was like, oh my God, get a hold of your life.
This is why, partly why I can't have a dog.
Why?
You'd have to feel
You don't have
something.
a dog voice?
Beyond dog voice, also just the clear anti-fish bigotry that you guys are both exhibiting here.
You can't hug a fish.
Not with that attitude.
Fish doesn't remember you. Get an octopus if you want a tank. Octopus remember you, will play games with you, has feelings. It's probably smarter than all of us, might be aliens. A fish, it's just...
That escalated quickly.
Oh, do some research on octopus.
No, I have, but I haven't seen the alien part.
There's this like thing about how they don't share DNA with almost any other species on Earth. So it's like, where'd they come from and who are they?
Oh, sick.
Right.
And also like, don't we think it's a little weird that this animal can just like change shape and color and texture just anytime they want? Like nothing, like a chameleon's like, let me get a little green. Octopus like makes their entire body look like a rock. Or
like,
you
can squeeze an octosize through the size of a quarter, like a whole size of a quarter.
There's an octopus that
like
found a way out the like air conditioning shafts of like a aquarium to become
an octopus can unscrew a closed jar lid from the inside.
Octopuses also have a different personality in each of their tentacles. Like there's a little brain in each tentacle. So like one would be a great lover, by the way, if you think about it, which everyone started talking about after that My Octopus Friend movie where that guy was definitely
that guy wanted to
1,000%. But if you think about it, which I did after watching that movie, I was like, did he that octopus? If they each have a different brain in their tentacle, like you could have a tender lover and...
Guys, I'm busy tonight. I'm having a 9-way with this octopus.
Hey listeners, it's Mike Ryan, and I've changed a lot over the course of 20 years that you've known me. I've gone from unlikable to, well, my hair has changed. But my point is, while a lot's changed over our relationship, there's one thing that hasn't changed one bit, and that's a great taste of Miller Lite. Another thing that hasn't changed is that it's less filling. So what's the best thing about the original light beer? Miller Lite has sparked this debate way back in 1975, and we still haven't settled it. They keep it simple. It's got undebatable quality, great taste, 96 calories. You know all those things. It's a beer that strips everything away that you don't need and holds on to what matters most. But with Miller Lite, you don't have to choose what's best. Miller Lite has great taste and is less filling. It's both those things. Tastes like Miller time. To get Miller Lite delivered right to your door, visit MillerLite.com/Dan. Or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer.
Dan Le Batard.
Oh, I like firing people. So I take the opportunity to fire whenever I possibly can because I can use it as a learning experience for them and try to help them out and try to point out what they did wrong. But in this case, the employee was enough levels below where I was that I did not do the firing, but I had it done within moments of discovery.
I love the idea. I like firing people. It's just absurd. It's absurd.
Stugotz.
I'm talking about people who I fire who deserve it, who have done something that actively requires me to fire them. It is my unadulterated pleasure to do so.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Here you go. Here you go.
Full support. That's the Nothing Personal word of the day. It is Friday, May 10th, 2024. We are going full lover boy today because we have a show about people who are going to have a lot of weekends in front of them. We're starting the show in Phoenix. So many places we could have started. We talked about the possibility of the Mavericks tying the series against the Thunder. How great it was. We had Sarah in tears before the show started, exhausted, but happy tears because the Rangers are up 3-0, doing things that they haven't done since she was barely a thought of being born a few months later. I really wanted to go right to Frank Vogel because Frank Vogel is a coach of the Phoenix Suns who works for Mat Ishbia, who's competing right now. We don't have a clear winner, but we are right now in a process where somehow we got budget from Meadowlark, and we are doing focus groups. We're doing data analytics, and we are trying to decide who's going to be our next Danny boy, who will take the mantle as the greatest provider of amazing things to talk about for a daily show like Nothing Personal. And I have thrown Mat Ishbia's name, image, and likeness in the ring because he seems to be an endless fountain of idiocy. And yesterday, that idiocy reared its ugly head yet again, its unsuccessful head yet again. And Frank Vogel got fired. Now, you may not know the name Frank Vogel, but should coach the Lakers. You may remember. He signed a 5-year, $31 million deal, and he has served, wait for it, that's French for 1 year. Une année. He's got 4 years left. And the best part is, after the first round sweep at the hands of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Side note, this next segment is brought to you by Pablo Torre Finds Out. In the most recent episode of Pablo Torre Finds Out, there is an in-depth 50-minute discussion on the ownership nightmare that is the Minnesota Timberwolves and the fight between Glenn Taylor, the octogenarian current owner, and Alex Rodriguez and Mark Laurie, the potential we really want to own the team. They're in arbitration right now, and he goes through in 50 minutes what I've been able to go through with you guys in stories leading up to that. But he goes into some detail and has a funny little show about it. Minnesota Timberwolves, you could say, have some issues, but they're on the court leading the Nuggets 2-0, potentially have now one of the top 5 players going forward in Anthony Edwards now and for the next half a decade, maybe more. But the Phoenix Suns are an unmitigated dumpster fire. The Phoenix Suns, who were swept by those same Timberwolves, said, all right, Frank, let me go back to tell you how funny this is, because the word of the day is full support. Frank Vogel, he basically had the following quote when asked, are you going to be back? It's so great that the media asked these questions of a 5-year deal coach who's 1 year into his deal, who makes the playoffs, gets swept by the Wolves, and then is asked in the post-game press conference, hey, how do you feel? You coming back? Managers and coaches have been asked that since the dawn of time, and they all say the same thing. It's a stupid question to ask. The question is always answered by, well, I feel no reason not to. I feel like we've put this organization in a great position. We're going to learn from this adversity, and we're going to come back stronger and kick some arse. And Frank Vogel did something that we tell coaches and managers when you are given a vote of confidence or when you feel as though you're secure in your job, just don't mention that you've got the support of the owner's name. Mention that you've got the full support of the organization, that you love your working relationship with your GM, that you're fortunate to be in a city with such great fans, with a clubhouse that you love to be at every day. But Vogel said, I have the full support of Mat Ishbia. What is it to have the full support of a completely irrational owner who's got new owner-itis, who has an ego the size of Texas and is trying to figure out how to win a championship, except the only way to win a championship is to do exactly what your instinct tells you not to do? I guess you could Costanza it and the Phoenix Suns would have a chance. So only a few short moments after having the full support of Mat Ishbia, at the urging of nobody but Mat Ishbia. Let me do that differently. Because there must have been the urging of one guy. There has to have been. 4-12-8-69. At the urging of at most one guy, Mat Ishbia said, we know exactly what happened. We put Durant and Booker together. That is a first-class championship caliber team. We brought in Bradley, we love you, Beal. And if only he could talk, he would say, I'm not worth $50 million a year for the next 3 years. But they realized that the issue was Vogel. And this is Ishbia and his top lieutenant, the greatest executive in the history of sports, Isaiah Thomas. It would be the equivalent of a smart GM asking Jeter what he thinks about a team, or a smart GM asking Jordan what he thinks about a team. It puts the ass in asinine. But Isaiah Thomas may have said to Ishbia, oh, this is it. It's not me. It's not me. It's not these deals that we did because I told you to do them. It ain't the players. It's the coach. Let's get what's the difference. You're going to pay him $31 million over 5. You'll pay him not to coach. You'll capitalize it. You'll write it off in year 1. It's all good. Well, Isaiah, who do you think we should hire? Good question, Matt. I got to tell you, I was one heck of a coach before you became an owner. Why don't you go back and look at my track record? I could take these players the respect that Durant and Booker have for me. I'm your man, George Michael. I can pretty much guarantee you that Mat Ishbia is going to hire a coach, and that coach is not going to last a very long time. And the person that I feel for, I sort of feel for both Durant and Devin Booker, more so for Booker. Devin Booker, notwithstanding any choices he makes off the court, Devin Booker, I mean, I am not here to criticize anybody's love life. It's amazing. I'm just saying that when you're dating someone in the Kardashian-Jenner group, you're opening yourself up to the Chris Humphries treatment. Devin Booker will now have his 7th coach in 10 years. Raise your hand. Not that I'll see it because I'm talking to an empty couch. Raise your hand if you think that playing for 7 coaches in 10 years is a good plan? Or do you think that the Spurs plan, where Popovich has been there since 1996, hasn't won in a decade, hasn't been out of the first round, I guess probably in 7 years, maybe 17 could have been the last time. Miami Heat, Spoelstra's been around since 08. It's a long time. Even the Warriors, Kerr's been around for 14 through that dynasty. Who thinks that cycling through coaches is the best way to win? Raise your hand if you're sure, and believe me, this ain't axe. This is sure. Because you don't want to blame yourself. You don't want to blame the players. So just cycle through a bunch of coaches and say, we're looking for a new voice. How much input do you think Durant and Booker had in Vogel moving on? Do you think the way it worked is that they had their end of season meeting with Ishbia? Don't worry, someone like Ishbia doesn't do stuff like that. Their end of season meetings last the entire offseason because Ishbia is the type of owner who's texting the players who are rolling their eyes, putting their phones away, not interested in hearing from them. I've seen this. Believe me, I've seen it up close and personal, Michelle Pfeiffer and Robert Redford. And hey, who do you want? Who do you want to coach you? What do you think of that Bucks guy that got fired because he was out in the first round? And I know him. He's good. What about Budenholzer? Let's bring him in. Let's recycle him. He won a championship with the Bucks. Can you imagine riding one championship for the rest of your career? It's awesome. So the rumor is that Budenholzer is going to get the job, which means he has the job already. There is no way that Ishbia is going to do a coaching search. What are they going to come in for 8 hours of interviews with Ishbia? He's got mortgages to screw you on. He's not spending time interviewing coaches for 8 hours, 5 coaches, making sure you interview minority coaches. Horse hockey. He's got Budenholzer wrapped up and signed already. So he's going to pay him. Budenholzer's not going to do it for free. He's going to want more than Vogel. So now we'll have 2 coaches making approximately $6 to $7 million a year. I love it. And do you know what it's going to lead to? Bupkis. Because Kevin Durant and Devin Booker and Bradley Beal, and mark my words, that threesome is worse than Laura Flynn Boyle, Stephen Baldwin, and Josh Charles. Anyway, anyone got that? Is there anyone listening? According to my math, there should be 58% of you who know exactly what I just said, and Coca and Sarah are not on that list.
All right, everybody, Mother's Day is officially around the corner. If mom's gift isn't already on the way, you've got hours, maybe even minutes to get it together. So head over to 1-800-Flowers.com right this second. 1-800-Flowers still has great last-minute deals on handmade bouquets, sweet treats, gourmet food, and one-of-a-kind gifts ordered easily and delivered fresh. You want to get mom something that shows your appreciation for all that she's done? We know you've been a knucklehead. She knows you've been a knucklehead. Please do better. Help your mom feel appreciated this Mother's Day. This is your last chance to lock in these Mother's Day deals. Only good while supplies last. Order today at 1-800-Flowers.com/Dan, D-A-N. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/Dan.
Hey listeners, it's Mike Ryan, and I've changed a lot over the course of 20 years that you've known me. I've gone from unlikable to, well, my hair has changed. But my point is, while a lot's changed over our relationship, there's one thing that hasn't changed one bit, and that's a great taste of Miller Lite. Another thing that hasn't changed is that it's less filling. So what's the best thing about the original light beer? Miller Lite has sparked this debate way back in 1975, and we still haven't settled it. They keep it simple. It's got undebatable quality, great taste, 96 calories, you know all those things. It's a beer that strips everything away that you don't need and holds on to what matters most. But with Miller Lite, you don't have to choose what's best. Miller Lite has great taste and is less filling. It's both those things. Tastes like Miller time. To get Miller Lite delivered right to your door, visit MillerLite.com/Dan, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer.